Welcome, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Lots of guests today, which is excellent. Let me first start off by saying that there is no definitive Bible on good nutrition. I think that is the one thing we can all agree on. But what I'd like to talk with you today about is inform you about some information I've gathered from a recent experience with a nutritionalist I started seeing. And some of you may say, well, why did you start going to a nutritionalist? And there's three main reasons. Number one, and the most serious, is heart disease runs rampant in one part of my family, and most men actually do not make it past 65. The women actually live to around 100. So, I kind of slide right in the middle somewhere. Secondly, I was very curious because my wife had gone to a nutritionalist, and some of it's a little bit out there, and I wanted to learn a little bit more. And the third was just get my wife off my back about it. So I decided to start going. So I want to provide you 5 steps, and these are not what I was provided with the nutritionalist, but just what I've gathered through those discussions and some of my own research on 5 basic things, and you'll see some of them are interrelated. First, sugar, and you'll recall for those of you at my last speech, we eat more sugar today, right now in a week than Americans did in a year 200 years ago. So, and I brought in 3 pounds of sugar, and it's pretty remarkable to see that's how much the average American consumes. The first point I want to make is that the first step is recognize that not all sugars are equal. Sugars have what's called, and carbohydrates for that matter, have what's called a glycemic index. And the higher the index, the quicker the sugar gets into your system, and the quicker your body tries to counteract that, and ultimately it will turn what you don't use into fat. And there are incredible number of sweeteners and sugars out there. Refined sugar, for example, has a glycemic index of 65. The dreaded high fructose corn syrup, 75. I wanted to bring in 2 alternatives that we use at home. The first is organic coconut palm sugar, which has a glycemic index of about 35. It converts in your body at a much slower pace, and much easier for your body to digest. The second is stevia, which is an all-natural sweetener, and I won't lie, it takes some adjusting. Has a glycemic index of 0. Wow. And it is all natural. I am slowly working into these, but I can tell you that change can make a big impact. Secondly, very related, and the second step is drinks. This is very painful for me. I like to have 3 to 5 pops a week. That's the little sound of the aluminum pop tab going. Still have that Pavlovian response right now. I've not had a pop in 2 months. Drink water, water, water. Coffee and tea are good. If you're going to drink something else, 100% juice, and I even find that mixing about 1/3 of water in that juice makes it actually taste better. So the big thing is, to the extent you can, eliminate sugary drinks and pop for water. That's not easy. Step 3, and I'll just start with saying an awareness of carbohydrates. Again, these are all interrelated because sugar and carbs are very interrelated. Sugars are a type of carb. The nutritionalist I go to recommends 125 grams of carbs in a day. I had no idea what that meant. I want to provide you with a couple meals that I would typically eat previously. A cinnamon crunch bagel from Panera with non-fat honey walnut cream cheese. 85 grams of carbs. That's 2/3 of your daily intake. At Olive Garden, I distinctly remember 5 cheese ziti with salad, 3 breadsticks, and a pop. 250 grams of carbs. Double what nutritionist says I should have a day. And to tie into step number 2 on the drinks, pop. A 40-ounce pop, the big ones you typically get at a fast food restaurant. Mountain Dew or Pepsi, 145 grams. More than you should have in a day. And it's all high fructose corn syrup sugar, all interrelated here. And if you think I'll go with that Tropicana fruit punch instead, be a little healthier, 150 grams, it's actually more. So You see sugar, carbs, beverages, all interrelated, and the awareness is step number one. Fourth, oils, fats and oils. We all know trans fat is evil, but also keep an eye out for hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils. Those are not good for the system either. They're not natural. We've gone back to good old-fashioned butter at home, which you hear more and more is believed to be the way to go. But also use coconut oil for just about everything. And again, it's a little bit different taste, and we make popcorn in it. Use it for everything. It's good stuff, and it does acquire a little bit of a taste, but not nearly like the steak. Not that I'm saying avoid the steak, but still give it a try. In fact, I'll pass it around if anyone wants to put a little on the finger. And fifth and finally, something I think we all know is processed foods versus whole foods, natural foods. Chances are, not always, but if it comes in a box, a bag, a can, if it says enriched on it, or if it has things that you can't pronounce, it's probably processed, which means the original product has been stripped of most of what's good, and what goes back in doesn't do your body nearly as good. So, you know, it's small steps. Next time at the grocery store, maybe try to take one of those boxes or bags out for something else that's a little more healthy. And I will say, since paying close attention to my diet, I actually had to get rid of one of my belts. They didn't go tight enough, which is not a bad problem to have. My cholesterol results recently had in my physical were lower than they've been in 10 years. And really, and this is the first winter, I think it's telling me, the first winter I have not been sick. So I am seeing firsthand. Now, there's always that little placebo thing floating back there, right? But I do believe that by and large, you know, I don't think most Americans, I certainly didn't give enough credence to the diet and what we put in our bodies every day. And you know, it starts with awareness and making small steps. I can tell you firsthand it's worked for me, and suggest that you might find some value in it as well. Fellow Toastmasters.